This video contains clips of violence and spoilers for Echo. Kingpin has always been one of my favorite Marvel villains. He's been the main villain for Daredevil, and he's been one of the many villains for Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my first favorite Marvel character, and Daredevil is my second favorite Marvel character. He's always been an appealing character to me. He's just a mob boss who is very smart and powerful. He has a very unique look, he has a large physique, and he's got the iconic suits and the cane that have always been a part of the character. Vincent D'Onofrio is perfect as the character. He was excellent in Daredevil, he was incredible in Echo, which was my personal opinion, and I was shocked to see him appear in Hawkeye. It was cool to see him, but it felt different than what we had seen before in Daredevil, and I will get into that soon. Kingpin could have easily just been a generic tough guy with issues, but the team behind writing his character for the MCU revitalized the character. D'Onofrio's performance elevated the presence and perfected who Wilson FIsk is. The MCU's best portrayed villain. Let's start with Daredevil. Daredevil is a dark and gritty show. It's rated TVMA, and it's the perfect environment for the portrayal of this character that is completely different than anything we had seen before. Given this environment, they could really lean into the violence and trauma behind the character. Daredevil was created by Drew Goddard, and you can tell the writing team definitely wanted to focus in on Fisk and make sure he was a villain that people would be terrified of, but also love. Drew Goddard, Stephen DeKnight, and Eric Olson were in charge of the seasons where Fisk was most prevalent, which was Season 1 and Season 3, which are, in my opinion, the best seasons of the series. Season 1 had the perfect introduction to the character. Standing in the art gallery, looking at the rabbit in the snow painting, and Vanessa walks up to him. It's just a really good introduction to the character. This series showed that you can sympathize with Fisk. He is a multi-dimensional character with a tragic past. He did kill his father, so we can't really condone that, but let's move on. His dark and gritty tone was carried into the MCU with Echo. This series felt like a continuation of what the Netflix Marvel shows were. I'm super excited to see what else Marvel Studios produces within the Marvel Spotlight tag and under TVMA ratings. They made the character the most grounded villain in the MCU, which, in my opinion, gives off a greater sense of intimidation, meaning his actions in everything he's been in could actually happen in the real world. He's that grounded, and I think the writing team in Daredevil perfectly established that this person could be someone that does exist in this world, and I'm sure there are people like that, but I'm so glad they took this approach to Wilson FIsk. The Netflix shows are now considered canon to the main MCU timeline, so the tone in those shows will definitely carry over into Daredevil Born Again and any other series they may develop under the Marvel Spotlight banner. Now on to Vincent D'Onofrio. Without question, he's one of the greatest castings for a comic book character ever. He absolutely nails the frightening nature of the character while also dominating every scene he is in. He's definitely not a man you want to mess with. His performance is award-worthy. So many scenes prove how he can go from super calm to enraged and brutally beating or yelling. Here's an example of that.
Get out of my house. I'll leave. And first, I'd like to have a conversation with you, off the record, of course.
You think I believe anything you have to say?
Well, I promise that I'll be honest with you, Mr. Yerk. So I am not here to threaten you. I'm here to kill you.
Gives me chills every time. Seeing the car door scene, I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about there. Seeing that scene for the first time, I'll never forget it. I was literally just shocked. His portrayal shows that he is a very evil man, but he also deeply cares for the ones he loves. For example, he loves Vanessa and Maya, He would do anything to make sure Vanessa is safe, and you definitely see this in Daredevil, where when Vanessa is threatened in some way, he just snaps and he instantly shows, if you mess with the woman I love, then you're dead. Basically, that's how he goes for it. And I'm interested to see how Vanessa plays into Daredevil Born Again with Fisk's character. His character evolves throughout each project he is in. You see him slowly change his methods and grow more attached to certain people. He is also a vulnerable person, and what his character explores is the different emotions that you wouldn't expect to see from an evil man like Fisk. No one will ever come close to playing the character the way Vincent D'Onofrio has. He truly made the character his own entity. I can't wait to see him play the character for as long as he wants. His character is loved by many, mainly due to his performance, and I will always hold D'Onofrio in high acclaim in this role. Now on to the MCU's version of the character. He was first introduced in Hawkeye. He was seemingly different than what he was like in Daredevil, which makes sense because this is a more comic booky universe. He was hit by a car, he was blown up by arrows that don't kill him, and he was shot in the face, which we later learn he survived from. The fan reception had some mixed feelings with how his character seemingly left the MCU. Then Echo was announced. Then his return was announced. That's when we knew there's no way Fisk is gone, he's back. Then we got a new Kingpin in Echo. He's got the eye patch with an artificial eye after being shot by Maya. He definitely seems more like the Daredevil version now. Like I mentioned before, the Netflix series are confirmed to be canon to the main MCU timeline. This show definitely had a darker toned atmosphere, which then brought him back into his violent playground. And then there's the setup at the end of Echo. Mayor Fisk. In the post-credit scene, he's watching this news broadcast on his private plane after saying he needs to meet with the different crime families in New York because things are getting out of hand. And he sees that there's a mayoral race in New York City. He slowly leans in and shows an interest in maybe starting a campaign for this. So, there's a rumor that the mayoral campaign for Fisk is going to be explored in Daredevil Born Again. And I personally can't wait to see this play out because it's been rumored that Marvel Studios is developing the Devil's Reign event, which is an event where Wilson FIsk is the mayor of New York and he's outlawed all of the vigilantes in the city. He's hiring people to hunt them, stuff like that. I haven't read it myself, but I do have it, so I'm going to get into that soon. But the event build-up has been through Hawkeye, Echo, reportedly Daredevil Born Again, and reportedly Spider-Man 4, which would be the finale of the event. Either way, the future looks super bright for Fisk in his dark and gritty environment. He will surely continue to be an incredible villain and character for the MCU. Vincent D'Onofrio deeply cares about the character, and the writing teams should as well. I hope these points proved that Kingpin is the best portrayed villain in the MCU. Make sure to check out the rest of the videos on my channel. I have a Doctor Doom video where I explain how he is Marvel's greatest villain. I have a Spider-Man 2 review, and I have so much more. So please check that out if you like this video. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. Make sure to share it around. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video. Thank you.